Hi, good evening everybody. This is Pierre from Solomon Firearms Training. Today we're going to be doing a video about the new NRA Basic Pistol Shooting course that includes the instructor-led training, ILT, and the blended learning, BL. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to go to Manage and Training and Students, right? So we're going to go ahead and register a new course. What you're going to notice here is that you're going to have some new options when it comes to the pistol course right here. You'll notice that you'll have two options, one which is blended and the instructor-led only. So most people are probably going to go for the instructor-led training at first, right? We're going to go ahead and click that. You're going to notice that automatically your time is going to be populated as to which, what the amount of hours are going to be. So that's going to be a total of 8 hours. So let's say we create a class today that's going to be 04/15/17. All right, this already popped up. I like to just copy and paste right here, which makes the time go a lot faster. So let's say I taught this class at 9 a.m. That would make it be done at 5 p.m. So this is pretty much straightforward at this point right now. You're going to put in your fee. I don't do any deposits. We'll do a total number of seats of 20. What you're going to see change right here is this new option. This new option allows you to pick which fire type discipline that you want to teach in your pistol course. So you can actually teach the full course, which I would recommend. You could also do revolver only or semi-automatic only. So the whole point of having the two new additional options, I think that kind of brings back the first steps. I saw some people were actually wanting that. I've seen that comment floating around for a while now. But, that's where I've had my personal courses for that. But you do have that option available that allows you to teach one type of platform and you don't have to teach the entire class. So once you go here, you populate your information like normal. And then I'm going to show you how it looks like on the student end where they actually get to see what class you're going to teach. So you kind of have to predetermine what class format you want to teach ahead of time. You can't really change it on your own. You have to pretty much do it ahead, and then the student is going to register for the type of class. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So when we hop over here, right, this is what a student would look at when they first come here. They're going to find a course. They're going to go ahead and they're going to click on what type of class that they want. They want the BPS course with instructor-led only. Let's say that they're in my area, 02777, and they're going to look for my class right here. What you'll notice is, right, so now the new blended learning, it tells you exactly what kind of class it's going to be. It's the BPS course instructor-led only, and that's located right here. When they click on the details, right, you're going to see that the student is going to have all the information that they need. They're going to tell you your name, all your info, and you'll notice right here, it's going to tell you the firearm type. Here the student is going to see that it's a semi-automatic class only if it's a full course or a revolver course only. So that way that's kind of the student's last opportunity to go ahead and bail out or figure out if they're in the wrong class or not. So then the student is going to go ahead and register for your class, right? And I don't know how to spell my own name. Outstanding. So we'll go ahead and I'll pretend like I'm the student here that's going to go ahead and sign up for his own class. So we'll go ahead and we'll put my shop address right here. We're located in Swansea in the wonderful state of MA. As you know, we are very gun friendly in this state. We have our 2A champion known as Maura Healy. She's a champion for all 2A rights. That's sarcasm, FYI, in case you're not aware of that. But that's a topic for another day. So what happened is I just registered for my class. So as usual, you're going to get the email. It's going to tell you, hey, somebody signed up for your class. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refresh my course right here. When I refresh my course, you'll notice that here in my class today, I have one student. That student is going to be me. What you're going to notice here, which is different from the way that the NRA has traditionally run their classes, is that now there's a minimum exam score. So just like in the blended learning, when you have to score a 90 or higher, the NRA actually now requires a student that takes basic pistol shooting that they actually, regardless of the format, if it's blended learning or instructor-led training, they have to score a 90, right? I'm going to go ahead on my score right here. I'm going to go ahead and put 90. and I'm going to update my score. I paid myself, I'm going to update, I attended, and then I passed my class. All right, so a new category now, right? You're gonna see a level of marksmanship available. So level 1, 2, 3, and 4 is gonna be determining on the shooting qual. So I'm gonna say that I qualified at the level 4 because I'm an instructor, and that is the level that I qualified. So for those of you that is confused, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what they are talking about. So when you go right here and you go into targets, you'll notice right here that the new basic pistol shooting targets are a little bit different. And I do not want to do that. Okay, so you'll notice right here, instead of traditional all red, you have the red around the circles as well. I'm not sure exactly why the NRA did this. I figure it's probably to help you out on the ink a little bit. And I know some people complained if they were using a red dot that the red dot would actually disappear in the circle. So we have the old target right here, which includes the new targets. So you'll see right here. And that's basically what the level correlates to. You have the red, white, and blue, which is going to indicate, sorry, English is my third language, is going to indicate what level they qualify right here. So when you look right here, you'll pick the appropriate level based on the distance that they qualified in. So I had clicked right here for the instructor, and that means I qualified. So once I did that, I'm going to go ahead, I'll get back to full size. So once you pick the level that the student qualified in, right, you're going to be able to update. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to review course report, and you would submit it to the NRA as traditional, right? You support, and at the end of this, you'll have a new screen that allows you to print the certificate. So the new basic pistol shooting packets are not going to have the new certificates in there. So you actually have to go and print them out online like you would do in blended learning. So now we're going to go ahead, we're going to go back. I'm going to cancel this class right here, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when you sign up for blended learning. So I'm going to go here. This is my course that I did today. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. I'm going to cancel, okay. Reason, other, testing, system. All right, cool. So I canceled the course. All right. So now here's where things get I wouldn't say tricky, but you have a couple of options of how you want to register your students. So now we're going to register a new course right here, right? We're going to go ahead, and this time we're going to pick NRA Basic Pistol Shooting Blended Learning, all right? I'm going to go ahead. You'll notice that the blended learning is 5 hours. I'm going to go and create my class today, which is going to be 0415. And I'll just go ahead and copy and paste, and I'll run the same time, so I'll do from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm going to charge the fee of $150, 0, seats 20, and what you'll notice here is you still have the option of picking whether you want to do a full course, revolver only, or semi-automatic. So regardless if the student does the full class, you can still pick if you want to focus on a particular discipline. So the NRA is giving us instructors a little bit of flexibility. So I'm going to click right here, revolver only, just to give a little bit of a variation. Once again, you can always pick Boy Scouts of America, women only, and youth only. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repopulate my name right here. Right? So we're going to go ahead, we'll do that, and then we'll show you step by step what the student is looking at and what you are doing as well. So zip code 02777, phone number, bang, that should automatically populate, info, and then testing blended. So once I've registered this course, right, now there's 2 ways that this can happen. Option number 1 is the student doesn't contact you and they find the class online by themselves, okay? So step option 1, right, let's say a student wants to go ahead and look for a course. They'll Google NRA blended learning. Now this is something that the student Googles, they're not really too sure, right? So this is a way that a student can do on their own. So traditionally with the blended learning, you had to pay the $60 before in order to click on number 2. So what I'm going to do right here is, right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in. Now, the student has to create a login prior to being able to do this. What you'll notice here, right, if I, the student, did not contact you at all, you'll notice that I have two options here. I can use the PayPal, right? I can pay the $60, and once I pay the $60, I have access to the self-led training now, right? Now the NRA doesn't use the term phase 1, but this is essentially what it is. It's the same class as the phase 1 portion. The student can still pay the $60, take the class on their own, and then the second option is using a course control code. We're going to get into those a little bit later on in the video. I don't want to jump right into it right now. All right, so let's say the student goes, they pay the $60, right? They get the PayPal, they take the class, they've completed the course. So now when the student comes back, right, he's going to look for the class. He's going to click, I want blended learning because I want to do the online training and I want to get as much training and information as I can get. We have to applaud those students, 0277, that they're willing to do extra courses. So when you click on this right here, you'll notice that my class pops up automatically. I still have all my old classes that I need to change, and I'm going to change them to instructor-led. But I have today's class right here that's going to show right here. So I'm going to click on details. You'll see right here, once again, it tells me the firearm type. So today I'm going to be doing revolver only. So that kind of gives you a best of both worlds, I guess, where a student can do the online blended learning, but they can also still focus. You can still get a little bit of the first steps. So it's like the blended learning and first steps combined. You can still pick the firearm type only that you want. So the student here sees, okay, this is the training that I want. I want to do revolver only. And then you'll notice right here that the student has two options to register. The two options that they have is the self-learning module or the course control code right here. So you'll see right here what happened is the student is going to have the user ID that they created from this portion right here. So when they created the user ID, they took the class, they paid the $60. When they complete the course, right, the course is going to give them a PIN. The course is going to give them a PIN that they're going to use to register. So when the student enters the user ID and they create the PIN and they log in, they're going to go ahead and they're going to populate right here in your class where you created the blended learning. Now, because I actually didn't create the class, then, I'm obviously not going to populate because I didn't do the blended learning. Now you're gonna say, well, Pierre, why do I have to where do I get to give the course control codes? If a student does the blended learning on their own, they pay the $60 and they use their own PIN and they fill out all this information right here, they do not need a course control code. I repeat, they do not need a course control code if they've paid the $60 by themselves, did the whole online training. They're just automatically going to go ahead and populate in your roster when it comes up and shows you how many students that you have. So that's explaining the entire portion of the student doing it by themselves. Now we're going to start over just so people don't get confused, right? So I'm going to go ahead, right? I'm a new student, right? So we're going to reset the scenario. I'm a new student. I'm looking for blended learning, right? And we're going to type in the zip code again. So I'm going to search right here. All right. Ooh, who's this guy? He's in Swansea. He's right next to me. He's exactly what I want. All right, I am the student that didn't sign up for the class online and paid the $60, and I have no idea what this is right here. So therefore, I don't have any credentials to put in. So as you see, this big or right here tells you you have a second option to register the student. The second option that I have is I, the student, I'm just going to go ahead and put in my information, and I'm going to wait contact from you. So we're going to go ahead. 0002 1990. So me, the student, I'm registering for a class. I am not too sure what's going on. I think I'm in the right class. I know I wanted to do the blended learning. I'm sure that the NRA program and their instructors are going to help guide me. So once I go here and then I put my information in, here I have to create a username and password. So here I'm going to create a username and password, Pierre1990, and this is already a username and password that I have. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to certify and I'm going to register. So remember, this student here, this is a new feature that is not here before. The new feature is the student has to create a new username and password. So when I go right here, right, I go and I register the new password. No, I do not want to update my password. Okay, so all right. So I need to create a new user password. All right, so I'm gonna do 1991. The system has says, hey dude, you already have a username and password. What are you doing? So I'm gonna go ahead and I just added one behind that, and that's gonna create a new password for me. All right, would you like to save this password? No, I'm not. All right, great. So now I'm able to sign up for the blended learning. So what you're noticing here is that a student can sign up for your class, for your blended learning, may I specify, for your blended learning course without ever having taken any of the online portion, without registering for myself. So what's going to happen here on your end is that you're going to get the email, you're going to get notified. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my browser here, and I'm going to log in, and it's going to say, hey, this student has registered for my class. And apparently, as always, I'm paying for high-speed internet for with Comcast, and they're shafting me on my speed. All right, so now you'll notice right here, I have the Blended Learning Pistol course. I'm going to go to Manage and see who signed up. What I get right here is that I get this guy, Pierre Solomon. He signed up for my blended learning course. I'm going to look right here, and it tells me that my grade is 0. So I know this individual did not take the online course because his grade is a 0. He has to score at a 90 or higher to be able to come in. So because this student did not take the online course, right, I can tell by his grade, I now have to issue him a control code. So that's going to be my course control code right here. This is where we're going to go into the explanation of the course control code. So you'll notice right here on your home screen, right, is going to tell you to manage or buy course control code. So on your home screen right here, I'm going to click buy course control code. Once I buy the course control code, you can buy as many as you want. So you'll notice right here, course control code, if I type in 1, the amount is going to be 25. If I type in 50, the amount is going to be 1250. If I type in 500, the amount is going to be 1,2500. So you can see here, you can buy as many course control codes as you want, right? You can use credit card or PayPal. So once I've bought the course control codes, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my home screen, right? Once I purchase, so what I did was I bought one course control code. So that way I can demonstrate, right? So we're going to manage course control codes. You'll also see it available up here too. It'll tell you, this will lead you right to your for you to be able to buy more, and it's going to tell you your assigned course control codes and your order history. So my order history, a couple days ago, I bought a course control code. I paid $25, but I haven't assigned a course control code to anyone yet. So you have the option to do it straight here, but I want to make it nice and simple, right? So we go back to the home page, and now it tells me that I have one course control code. So now you know where the course control codes are, how to purchase them. So now we're going to go back to the student right here. So this student right here, I click on manage. He did not take my class. He did not take the online class yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to issue him a course control code. Course control code, right? Because I only have one, 1 is going to populate. If you have 10, 10 are going to populate, and so on and so forth, right? Obviously. So once I go here, I'm going to click course control code. I'm going to click that, and I'm going to issue it to him. All right, we're going to update his information and course control code. All right. So, I don't know if did I actually use my course control code? Oh shit. All right. So I think I actually used my course control code. All right. So now the student has the course control code. I think if I delete it, it'll be fine. All right. So now the student has the course control code, right? And then once you assign the course control code, the student is automatically going to get an email from the NRA saying, hey man, you signed up for the class. Thank you, blah, 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 blah. I still recommend that you call your student. You have the student's information right here. You have the email, you have the phone. Call your student, have a conversation with them, and then that way you make sure that they know what they're talking about and they know what they have to do. So boom, this is what you've done right here. You created the course control code. Now, I myself as a student, right, I get the phone call, I get the email telling me, okay, I got a course control code. Now the student has the option right here in the enrollment key, right? So it tells you if your instructor provided you with a course control code, please enter it here. So the course control code that you issued to your student, the student is going to copy and post it in the enrollment key right here. So in the enrollment key, your student goes, he puts in the enrollment key. I do not actually want to use my course control code, but we're going to use a little bit of common sense here, and I think you can figure out where this goes, right? I give you guys that benefit of the doubt. So once the student enters the course control codes, then now they're able to access the blended learning, the self-led training, I think that's what they call it, the self-led training, aka phase 1 of the blended learning. So what I've just showed you now is how a student who signed up for your class right here, it populated into your student registry, you got notified, and then you assign that student a course code. So now the student is able to access the online portion, right, and put their enrollment key in, and then they're able to take their class. When the student is done taking this class right here, when you refresh your browser, their grade is going to populate. When their grade populates into a 90, then you know that student is good to go. You're like, all right, great. The student took the class, you followed up with the student, and you made sure that he understood everything so that he's able to take the second portion. I think it's really important that you maintain communication with your student. That way, you still have that way you keep up with them and say, hey man, the class is on Monday. You really need to finish your phase 1, because if you don't finish phase 1 and score a 90, then you can't come to the second portion, which is instructor led. Then you're gonna have to reschedule the student for another time, right? So that is the second scenario. And then you have the last scenario right here where you're going to manually register a student, right? So here I'm going to go ahead and I have John Doe who walked into my store, and then he says, hey man, I want to take this blended learning class. What do I got to do? You say blah, 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 blah. He says, okay, I got the money right away. Can I pay you right now? And you sign me up for the class. You go, sure, not a problem. I'll send you up right away and I'll walk you step by step. Here, I'm going to register the student, right? So here you got the option. The student, if they already took the online portion, right, you have this option right here. If they took the online portion and they got the PIN number and the ID number that they created, if they took it on their own, then they can input it here and you could manually register them yourself. So that's going back to when the student first signed up for the pistol course online. They did everything, but they weren't too sure how to sign themselves up. Here you can manually, if the student gives you the information, right, the student gives you the user ID and the student gives you the PIN, then you can manually sign them in right here. But going back to the final way, this is what I was talking about right here. So we go here, or self-learning, right? So I'm going to create this new individual. I'm gonna purposely spell my name wrong this time. This time it was on purpose, or it doesn't want me to. I'm gonna call myself PRE. I'm gonna type in my last name. I'm gonna put a N as well. I got the gender. I got the birth. Don't assume my gender, okay? I got my address. So now what you'll notice right here is that you now have the ability to create a username and a password for your student. So the student says, hey, my information is this, blah, 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 blah. And then you go, this is here where instead of the student creating the username and password for themselves, you have to do it for them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create the student's username by using their first. This is what I recommend for you guys to do. You use the first name, you use the last name, and you make that a username. And then the password that I'm going to use is going to be password. I'll type in PASSWORD. So now what you've done is you've created the username, you created the password for them, and then you get to assign them a course control code. Alright, so because I had used the course control code previously, I don't have any left. But you get the idea right here, right? So once you assign them that final course control code, if you bought more than one, unlike me where I bought only one and I don't have any more left, once you assign them their course control code, you can register the student. Then once again, the student would be able to go, right? The student will be able to go in online right here, right? Do you want to log out? Yes. So then the student would be able to, I'm just trying to get it to the screen where it takes me. So yes, the student would come right here to the screen. It would prompt them to put the username and password that you gave them. So the original username and password that I had created for the final student for John Doe was that, LOMON, and then N, and then the password I had created was password. So once they put in that new username and password that you give them, then they'll be able to log in and they'll be able to register just as before. So that is the other way how you can manually register students. So you have the option where if the student takes the class on their own, right? The student goes online and takes the class on their own, they could manually, the student themselves can register. If the student takes the class online but is not sure, right, when they get to the point where they're registering for your class, if somehow they're confused, the students can give you their information and then you can manually register it for them. So just wanted to follow up right here, right? If somehow the student got confused right here, this is the same exact screen that the student has. If the student was like, dude, I came to try to register and I got confused, can you help me out? Then you go, sure, man, no problem. What is your username and PIN? And then you manually register the student right there. So that's pretty much it. This is just a walkthrough. I figured this out on my own. I also had help from the instructor website. The NRA has some great guys that put out the information. They give you all the details. They give you the workflow sheet that really helped me put this together. So it's not like I just made it up myself. I had the help from these guys to help guide me, and I was able to talk to them on Facebook online. You should definitely be part of that group if you're, if you're able to. So this is it. Yeah, if you liked the video and you found it informative, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where we're going to be posting it. So our YouTube channel is Solomon Firearms Training. We're going to be putting up a lot of good content. We're doing a huge PR push. So we have some cool stuff right here. You'll be able to check out our, so we have several playlists right here that pretty much you'll get to follow whatever you want. So we'll have our talk show comedy, instructor courses, and all these different categories that you can pick and figure out what you want to watch. So our channel is going to be informative, it's going to be fun, and have some cool stuff. So this is just one of the many videos that we're going to be doing to help you guys out. So if I missed anything, please be happy to comment below and fill me in. If not, if you found it helpful, please give us a like and subscribe, and we will totally appreciate that. Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate it. Remember, Pierre from Solomon Firearms, and I hope you have a great day. Go ahead and train some more people. Thank you.